Very pleased with the work in progress that the House of Representatives has made through this first deadline. You know, the efficiencies that we were able to achieve with the budgeting process and with the legislative process in general allowed us to conclude our hearing of bills last night, which gives us a date this week, on a deadline week, to focus once again on budgetary matters. I think the significant pieces of language that were moved this week, number one, I'm happy that the rural health care access bill is moving forward to the Senate, albeit with title off. But we will consider that issue as the budget comes together further. Also, Representative Leslie Osborne, I think, had a very significant bill which changed the apportionment of gross production taxes to an educational fund, that the legislature will be directly appropriating those monies to education going forward. And that is a significant piece of legislation, because as I've discussed in previous meetings the last few weeks, the budget hole that we return to every year is largely due to the structure of our state revenues and how those are apportioned. And so that will continue to be a major focus on our budget process that will be carried out through the rest of this legislative session. So overall, I think it was we had a very effective first 7 weeks in meeting our deadline. The House of Representatives certainly reached some higher level of efficiencies and being mindful of the time of the people and the taxpayers. And we will now largely be focusing on the budget, and we hope to be very efficient with that process as well. We'll certainly listen to any proposal from the Senate on that. However, the House has a plan to pay for the teacher pay raise. As I've mentioned before, it's never. We never wanted to introduce a plan in the House that we did not have a funding mechanism for. We don't believe that it's fair to introduce a measure that sounds great but is in no way achievable. The House, we do have a plan and we have had conversations with Senate leadership and with the governor's office about one particular concept that is sustainable for making a $6,000 across-the-board teacher pay raise a reality over a 3-year phased-in approach. So we'll consider their ideas as they are considering ours, and our caucus is looking at that particular plan as well as other ideas.
You started your answer by saying that the House has a plan to pay for the teacher pay raise. Did you mean that you have a plan for a teacher pay raise or a plan to pay for it?
We have both. Okay.
What's the House idea?
Well, I'm going to tell you that there is a written plan. We are in conversations with the Senate leadership and the governor's office. We sat down with them on Tuesday, and showed them that plan. We believe that in order to, we believe we've got to agree on a plan that will fund the teacher pay raise, and we have to show a way that can reach the full implementation phase. But we have a way to raise the $312 million necessary for a $6,000 teacher pay raise without that, which is ongoing, which is sustainable, and without putting our members on a vote to increase tax rates. We're looking at an approach that will not be taking money from one agency and redirecting it to another area of government. The 14.5% cut correspondence was not meant as a letter to signal that there's going to be a 14.5% cut across the board. It's more or less to ask for feedback from the agencies and to put them on notice that if nothing were to change today, assuming all things as they are, that could be the scenario. What is your contingency plans? But our budgeting process, and will not be focusing on across-the-board cuts to state agencies. I want to thank the press for delivering me a copy of the Democratic budget, because to date I've not received the budget directly from Leader Inman or any of the members of his caucus. So this morning, following Leader Inman's press conference, is the first time I've heard of any of their ideas.
You get the list? You got the actual list?
I believe I have a document that we've not had time to review yet, but nevertheless, I'm not sure exactly what Leader Inman had to say in his press conference, but we are very much engaged in the budget process. We have been pre-session, and we'll continue to roll out more details on that as the process evolves. But once again, it's important to us that we have a budget that's ready to roll out way before the sine die deadline of the legislative session. Well, that's why agencies have directors that are paid well to look at those things. We're not micromanaging those agencies. We're here to appropriate money, and we expect accountability from the agencies. And we're not here to say that we don't believe their story, but we are here to say we want you to come show us what you're dealing with on a daily basis, and what adjustments that you have made. And that's a vital part of the budget process in our estimation.
So no agencies have come and talked to you and your staff directly?
None that have recently have talked to the media. It's been a priority every year. Even last year, in our biggest revenue contraction year, we still funded the Pinnacle plan, and we funded an increase to health care, because we are going to ensure that the most vulnerable in our society receive the services that they need.